to announce a few things. First of all, season 2 of Contractor Conversation is going live. In a few weeks, I'm dropping the first episode. It is exciting. I'm excited about this up and coming season. I have new content. I have some repeat guests. I have some new guests because your contracting business is a business. Let's start there. Secondly, as the title says, people want to skip steps in the process. And I want to talk about that, and we're deep diving into that in season 2. Now, I need to get this off of my heart. I am a compliance officer. As before I get too far gone, as you come into the room, share this live because I want to share this with everybody. I don't care what industry you work in. I don't care what type of business you're building. You cannot skip steps in the process. And then you want to blame whatever coach you're working with for your failures. There are steps in the process. This is the difference between somebody who knows the industry and somebody who doesn't. Those of us who know the industry know the steps in the process. We want to take you through those steps. We want to build those foundations because we don't want to one and done you. We want to help you build a solid foundation so that you can have repeated successes. We're not interested in bilking you. We are interested in you duplicating the effort. We're interested in you being around for the long haul. And whether you're catching this live or you're catching this by the replay, on a replay, I want you to understand and pick up what I'm putting down. I see time and time again people complaining about fake coaches and all of that, but I want you to focus on something. Have you ever thought about the fact that it isn't, there are fake coaches out there. I've spent money on fake coaches. But have you ever thought about the problem is you want to get to the end goal in a rush because you're trying to skip steps in the process. I am a government contracting specialist. And primarily, and first of all, I am a compliance officer. There are steps in the process. So many people come to me wanting me to help them write a proposal. But what did I hear when I won my first contract? The contracting officer talked about clients who cannot submit a correct bill. So what do I do with my clients? I take them through the steps in the process. That is why I'm writing my first book, Keys to Government Contracting, because the first key is, can you submit a bill? Do you have the proper foundations? People are trying to submit proposals and they don't even have the proper structure and foundations. They can't pass the desk audit. You can't skip steps in the process. But then when the process crumbles, you want to blame the coach instead of looking at whether you skip steps. Why are you in a rush? Government contracting is a very expensive, is a very lucrative process. Good evening. However, if you don't do it right, you'll go broke. There are steps to this thing. And if you follow the steps, if you invest on the front end, you'll reap the reward on the back end. But we want to rush. We want to submit that proposal and then you can't submit a bill. You want to submit that proposal and you can't pass the desk audit. And let me tell you, the desk audit asks you for all those little pesky things you don't want to deal with. There are steps that you can't skip in this process. And it's not the coach's fault. There are steps in the process you cannot skip. Take your time, slow down. I sent out and I posted and I seeded that I'm offering a program called the 365 Contractor. I'm going to take you through the steps to building a scalable and successful government contracting business. But people want to talk about, I want to help with a proposal, but are you capable? Do you have the capacity? There are steps in the process. You can't skip them. So I am inviting you to the contracting and business event that I'm having October 5th and 6th. $15.95 to be in the room. We're talking about working with the largest client, the government. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about ethics. And ethics is more than behavior. We're talking about what do you say you sell? Because a lot of people want to write a proposal and you can't even talk about what you're selling. We're talking about the intersectionality of faith. Why am I bringing up faith? Because some of you are faithpreneurs and then you want to walk in, praise the Lord, everybody, in a meeting. Hello. Some of you are so busy trying to push faith out of business until you're squashing and you're quelling and you're running off some of your prime talent. So you need to be in the room October 5th and 6th. Space is limited. Come into the room and learn the steps in the process. We're talking about how to lead in contract and not be a bully. Because some of you are coming to the table as bullies. Hello. We're having panel discussions on what it is like to actually be in the room. And let me tell you, my experts, we're all government contractors. I have 20 years in the business. One of my panelists, she's actually awards and monitors government contracts. She is going to tell you what it's like to talk and work with a government agency. She works at the Veterans Administration. One of our facilitators actually retired, not only from the Army doing contracts, but at the VA as well. Be in the space. And if you don't want to invest $15.95 to sit in a room and learn how to do the steps in the process, I question your ability to manage a government contract, let alone your commitment to the commitment. Now, some people are saying, $15.95 at one time, I can't do that. There's a 3-pay option. So scan one of the 2 QR codes. If you have additional questions, just go to eventcreate/contracting and business. You'll see the tentative agenda. But you want to be in the room because you cannot skip steps in the process. That's all I have to say. You cannot be a contractor skipping steps in the process. I'm Luciana Turner. I'm signing out for this evening. If you have questions for me, send me a direct message, post a comment. I check my comments after my broadcast. I'll message you. But you can't skip steps in the process and expect contracting success. I'm signing off for the evening. Have an amazing evening. I'll see you in the room October 5th and 6th.